Hello, devoted fans of the Drama Digest channel. It's your favorite team here at TV Days, where we dive deep into the swirling vortex of passion, betrayal, and heart-wrenching twists that define our beloved soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Today, on this fateful November 7th, the Salem saga took us on another rollercoaster ride of emotions, secrets, and near tragedies that left us gasping for air. If you somehow missed the live episode or perhaps caught up in your own real-life drama, fear not. We've got you covered with this exhaustive, pulse-pounding recap. But remember, nothing beats watching the full episode or a summary video for those raw, unfiltered moments. Grab your popcorn, settle in, and let's unravel the web of intrigue that unfolded today. Thread by dramatic thread. Our story kicks off with the ever-scheming Gwen, whose life has been a tapestry of calculated moves and hidden agendas. Today, Gwen embarks on a perilous new mission to forge a fragile peace with the slippery Leo Stark. But this isn't just any olive branch. It's a strategic ploy to keep tabs on Leo's every sly maneuver. The mastermind behind this assignment? None other than the formidable E.J. DiMera, whose trust in Gwen is as rare as it is conditional. E.J., with his piercing gaze and unyielding ambition, sees Gwen as the perfect pawn in his grand chess game. Gwen, he whispers in a dimly lit corner of the DiMera mansion, his voice laced with authority and a hint of menace. You must ingratiate yourself with Leo. Watch him like a hawk. The party approaches, and I need eyes everywhere. Gwen, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and dread, nods solemnly. She's no stranger to deception after all. Her past is riddled with forged identities and shattered alliances, but this task feels heavier, more personal. Leo, with his quick wit and penchant for mischief, has been a thorn in many sides, including hers. As she steels herself for the confrontation, flashbacks flood her mind, the bitter arguments, the stolen glances, the betrayals that once tore them apart. Will Gwen's charm offensive succeed, or will Leo sniff out the ruse? The tension builds like a storm cloud over Salem, promising thunderous revelations. Meanwhile, across town, E.J. finds himself entangled in a different kind of storm brewing with Abraham Carver, the steadfast mayor whose moral compass points eternally north. Abe, ever the voice of reason in a sea of chaos, corners E.J. in the bustling Horton Town Square, his eyes flashing with a mix of disappointment and righteous anger. E.J., you've been playing with fire, cutting people out like they're disposable, Abe taunts, his voice booming with authority. The reference, of course, is to Trey, whose abrupt exclusion from E.J.'s inner circle has left ripples of resentment. E.J., dressed impeccably in his tailored suit, clenches his jaw, his aristocratic features hardening into a mask of defiance. The encounter is electric, charged with years of accumulated grudge. Sub's unwavering integrity clashing against E.J.'s ruthless pragmatism. Words fly like daggers. Abe accuses E.J. of moral bankruptcy, while E.J. retorts with silky sarcasm, defending his actions as necessary for the greater good of the DiMera legacy. The air crackles with unspoken threats, and bystanders in the square pause, sensing the impending explosion. But E.J., ever the strategist, knows when to pivot. He disengages with a curt nod, his mind already shifting gears to more pressing matters, the secretive lab work that awaits him. The lab, a shadowy realm where science meets sinister intent. Enter Dr. Wilhelm Rolf, the mad genius whose return to Salem sends shivers down spines. E.J., wasting no time, introduces Rolf to the enigmatic Mark, a man freshly released from the chains of incarceration, but now stepping into a far more treacherous trap. Dr. Rolf, meet Mark, E.J. announces in the sterile glow of the underground facility, his tone dripping with false camaraderie. He'll be assisting you with our experiments. Rolf's eyes gleam with maniacal delight behind his spectacles, his German accent thick as he rubs his hands together. Excellent. The possibilities are endless, but Mark, his face etched with the weariness of a man who's tasted freedom only to have it tainted, feels a knot of regret twisting in his gut. These shady experiments, E.J. speaks of, are no mere scientific curiosity or illegal, boundary-pushing endeavors that could unravel lives. Whispers of genetic manipulations, mind-altering serums, and forbidden resurrections echo in the lab's cold corridors. Mark flashes back to his time behind bars, the clang of cell doors, the isolation, the vow to never return. Yet here he is, drawn into E.J.'s web by promises of redemption or perhaps coercion. As beakers bubble and machines hum ominously, Mark wonders if this alliance will be his salvation or his undoing. The drama escalates as ethical lines blur. Will Mark blow the whistle, or will he dive deeper into the abyss? Shifting our gaze to the more tender, yet equally turbulent side of Salem, we find Chad DiMera offering solace to the distraught Kat. Kat's worries about Aaron consume her like a relentless tide. Fears of his safety, his choices, his very future. In a moment of raw vulnerability, Chad pulls her into his strong arms, enveloping her in a comforting hug that speaks volumes without words. The embrace is electric, charged with unspoken history and lingering affections. Kat's tears soak into Chad's shirt as he murmurs reassurances. It's going to be okay, Kat. We'll figure this out together, but this intimate scene doesn't go unnoticed. Enter Thomas and Jennifer, who stumble upon the pair in the DiMera living room. Thomas, with his youthful impulsiveness, misinterprets the hug as a rekindling of old flames. His face contorts with jealousy and confusion. Chad and Kat? After everything? Jennifer, ever the matriarch, places a gentle hand on Thomas's shoulder, but it's too late. The misunderstanding ignites a firestorm. The tension explodes in the heart of the town square, where Thomas unleashes his fury like a pent-up volcano. You don't care about anyone but her, he shouts at Chad, his voice cracking with adolescent pain. Passers-by freeze, turning the square into an impromptu theater of family drama. Chad, his eyes wide with shock, reaches out desperately. Thomas, wait. Let me explain, but explanations fall on deaf ears. Thomas's temper boils over, his words a barrage of accusations about neglect, favoritism, and betrayal. Jennifer, caught in the crossfire, pleads for calm, her voice trembling. Thomas, honey, this isn't what you think. Yet the boy, blinded by emotion, storms off in a huff, his footsteps pounding against the cobblestones. What follows is a sequence straight out of a Nightmare, heart-stopping climax that had us all on the edge of our seats. As Thomas bolts into the street, oblivious to the world around him, the screech of tires pierces the air like a scream. A car barrels toward him, its driver slamming on the brakes in a futile attempt to avert disaster. Chad's world shatters in an instant. He lunges forward, his scream echoing, Thomas. No, Jennifer's hand flies to her mouth, her face paling as horror grips her. The impact is brutal. Thomas is struck, his small body crumpling to the asphalt in a heap. Chaos ensues, horns blare, onlookers gasp, and emergency sirens wail in the distance. Chad drops to his knees beside his son, cradling him gently, tears streaming down his face. Stay with me, buddy. Please, stay with me, he begs, his voice hoarse with terror. Jennifer, in shock, dials for help, her hands shaking uncontrollably. The driver emerges from the car, pale and apologetic, but the damage is done. Thomas lies motionless, his fate hanging by a thread. Will he survive this tragic accident? Could this be the catalyst for family reconciliation or further fracture? The episode leaves us dangling on this cliffhanger, our hearts pounding with anticipation. But let's not stop their days of our lives as a masterclass in layering subplots. And today's episode was no exception. Delving deeper into Gwen's mission, we see her approach Leo in a quaint cafe on the outskirts of town. The atmosphere is thick with awkwardness. Leo, sipping his latte with exaggerated flair, eyes her suspiciously. Gwen, darling, to what do I owe this unexpected pleasure? Come to stab me in the back again, he quips, his sarcasm a shield against vulnerability. Gwen, channeling her inner diplomat, forces a smile. Leo, we've both made mistakes. Let's bury the hatchet for old time's sake. Their conversation weaves through reminiscences of shared schemes and mutual betrayals, each word a tightrope walk over an abyss of distrust. Gwen probes subtly for information on Leo's latest antics, all while EJ's directive echoes in her mind. The scene is a ballet of deception, with close-ups capturing every flicker of doubt in Leo's eyes. By the end, a tentative truce is struck, but the audience knows it's fragilely a powder keg waiting for a spark. Back with EJ and Abe, their confrontation isn't just verbal sparring. It's a window into Salem's power dynamics. Abe, drawing from his own losses and triumphs, reminds EJ of the human cost of ambition. You've lost sight of what matters, EJ. Family, integrity—those are the real legacies. EJ, stung but unyielding, counters with tales of DiMera resilience. In my world, Abe, survival demands tough choices. Trey was a liability. The exchange escalates, voices rising until a mutual glare signals a standoff. EJ's retreat to the lab is an escape, it's refocus. There, with Rolf and Mark, the experiments take a darker turn. Rolf outlines the plan, Viville manipulates the DNA, creates the perfect subject. Mark's hesitation is palpably. He paces the room, sweat beading on his forehead. This could send me back to prison. Or worse, EJ's reassurance is cold. Stick with me, Mark, and you'll be untouchable. The moral quandary adds layers of drama, questioning how far one will go for freedom. On the emotional front, Kat's anxiety over Aaron stems from recent events, Aaron's entanglement in shady dealings, perhaps linked to the very experiments EJ orchestrates. Chad's hug isn't mere comfort, it's a reawakening of suppressed feelings. As their bodies press close, memories flood, stolen kisses, broken promises. Thomas's misinterpretation fuels his outburst, rooted in his own insecurities, post-family upheavals. The town square meltdown is visceral. The yells draw a crowd, including familiar faces who murmur judgments. Chad's failure to calm him underscores his paternal struggles, while Jennifer's intervention highlights her enduring role as peacemaker. The accident sequence is the episode's pinnacle of drama. Time slows as Thomas steps into traffic, the car's headlights glare like predatory eyes. The The screech of brakes, a symphony of dread. Impact, a thud that reverberates through the screen. Chad's panic is raw, his hands tremble as he checks for a pulse, whispering prayers. Jennifer's sobs mix with the arriving paramedics' urgent commands. The cliffhanger is masterful. Thomas whisked to the hospital, his condition unknown. Speculation runs wild: brain injury, coma, or a miraculous recovery that mends broken bonds? As we wrap this epic recap, remember, Days of Our Lives thrives on these intricate tapestries of human frailty and resilience. Today's episode, clocking in at over an hour of non-stop intensity, reminds us why we tune in for the drama that mirrors our own lives amplified to operatic heights. What lies ahead for Gwen's espionage? Will EJ's experiments unleash chaos? And poor Thomas, will he pull through? We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. TV Days Drama Digest for more updates on Days of Our Lives.